Alright, so in this tutorial we're gonna be doing a burst fade, and I'm just kind of be going it through just live. You guys can just see it step by step. I don't have to do no edits, and then I'm just do one side and I'll just show the full the result at the end. On the first guideline, I'm more focusing just on the shape of the guideline because that's gonna determine all my guide like the guidelines that I'm gonna stack above it. So the shape that I have right here is the shape that we're gonna try to create within the fade. So once we hit it with the trimmer, we're just gonna go with the shaver. And make sure you don't go all the way up to the line that we created with the trimmer, that we don't create another guideline. If you guys zoom in, you guys will see that I'm just flicking right before that guideline. In the case where you do go to the guideline, then you just hit it with the grain and it'll soften it up. Now I'm gonna use my Babyliss and I'm gonna set my first guideline. Notice I'm just following the shape. Now I'm gonna go halfway and I'm gonna hit halfway through the guideline. Now I'm closing it and I'm gonna try to get rid of the guideline that we created with the trimmer. I'm opening it just a bit, go right above it. So as you can see, most of the time it's gonna happen, but there's still gonna be a faint little line there. Never try to just keep going higher because then that's gonna take the fade a little higher. Just go right back down to the first step that you did. Come back with the trimmer and just hit it with the corners. Just flicking into it and then that'll soften it up. So after we go with the no guard or zero, then we're gonna go with the 0.5. Same thing, I'm gonna go open, halfway, close. Just watch the lever play. I'm letting y'all know just those are the guidelines that I use. Okay, boom, boom. So I'm gonna go open first. Halfway. Notice how the hair right here starts growing back. It goes in that direction. So I have to hit it in this direction a little bit. We're always gonna go against it when you're fading. Now I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna try to get that line that we created with the no bar. Look how when I start going with the corners, it gives me the leverage to go a little bit higher. It's not cutting as much, so I'm just kind of more point cutting in between. So there's still a little bit, so what happens if there's still a little bit of a line that we left with the no guard, then we go right back. I like to close the lever a little bit and hit it with the corners. Oh, right there. The camera a little bit. Let's see a little bit more. Right there. So I'm detailing as I go. It just helps me stay a little bit more organized because I know that I only have two guidelines here. I have the no guard and the 0.5, and then I detail as I go, and then at the end, if I need to detail more, then I will. The reason I'm doing it this way is because it's more beginner friendly. Because usually, if you're a beginner, you kind of will get lost in between the guidelines. So I would suggest that you just detail as you go. So now with the 1.5 open, I'm just flicking up right here, trying to blend it into this boat. Trying not to create another guideline, but if you do, it's okay. Now I'm gonna go halfway. Notice I'm not going in like this, I'm kind of flicking out a little bit. Boom, so now we're gonna try to take this line out right here. So it's on a numbers game, so we went up with the 1.5, and then we were, right here is the 0.5, so the one in between is the number one. So I'm gonna flick in with the number one. That should soften up the line a bit. You guys see it coming out. It's gonna look a little blurry. Now I'm gonna come right back down to my 0.5 open, and I'm gonna flick up into it. Flick into this right here. Lever play. Getting a little bit below halfway. I can see the fades start coming out little by little. Now we're gonna focus up here on this poker here. I'm gonna go with the number two. Go halfway with the number two. And just to kind of blend in a little bit more the darkness, we go right back down to the 1.5. So this is more detail work because we set our foundation, and now we're just trying to blend it to take it to the next level. So I'm gonna start open to play it safe. Like smaller areas like this, you want to use more corners. Notice I'm not just putting in the full blade because it could mess up the shape of the burst fade. So I'm gonna go halfway. As you can see, it's coming out fresh right there. I'll probably just do a little bit of clip over comb and then be set. Now for the method of the clip over comb, this is the one that's gonna help a lot of people. So we know our foundation is here, right? So we're gonna use this to help us blend here because we're just trying to create the shape. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in with the comb. I'm gonna use this hair as my base. As soon as this hair starts coming out and all the hair up there is hanging, that's the hair I wanna get rid of, right? So right here, all the hair stops coming out there, and I'm just get this right here. That gets rid of the bulk and it helps you preserve the shape. So same here. It gets a little tricky with the burst fade because we have to go in smaller areas like this, like that, and like this. Boom, stops coming out there. Let's get all of this. Coming down so you see it work. All the hair stops coming out there. All of this is checked out. And then, so that's the first step. And then to come back and really refine it, instead of going across, I'm gonna go like this. Just playing it with it right here. And this is with my lever open. You guys want to make sure that you guys are flaring out, because if you guys are not flaring out, you guys are going to bite into the fade, and then that's going to be a whole different problem. I don't know how to teach that. Clean it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna line up this back part a little bit, just to kind of refine it. You see all these little hairs that are just popping out? Go like this. Same with the C cup. The way I attack the C cup is I pinpoint the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna set up my guideline here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just meet it. There you go. That's how you just try to keep it as natural as possible. Just start from the top, pinpoint it there, and then kind of just connect the dots, but with the curve. You start trying to go in there, trying to just freehand all that, it's gonna get a little complicated. And to really soften it up, I usually wouldn't show this in the video, but I'm gonna take y'all to the next level. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my thinning shears, and I'm gonna just bite into this so that it doesn't look too heavy. So notice the technique that I'm using. I'm not just going in there and I'm cutting. So I'm going up like this. So all this hair is just going up. And it's important that you move up, because if you stay in one area, you're just gonna debulk one area too much. You know, you kind of want to glide through it. You want to make it look as natural as possible. It gives it more like a little flow on there. And you really want to focus more on that point where it transitions from number 2 to the flip over comb. So always double check your work. Put the comb back in. And don't be afraid to always go back and line it up again. See how there's still little hairs that get caught up. Now, if it's your first time lining up the back and you want to create kind of like that little bit of a roundness, what I would suggest is you go create the square, boom, and then you're gonna hit the corner of the square like this, hit this corner, hit that corner, and that's gonna create that roundness for you right there. So that's the fade for the burst fade, looking clean. So make sure you just like, comment, and subscribe on this video. That way I start dropping a little bit more, and I'll be giving y'all some more tutorials. That way y'all learn and start cutting at the shop. It's your boy Marty Cuts.